trailhead. The road got a bit rough for my 16,000-pound ambulance, so I hopped in with my trusty camera guy, John. And this will be about the best feature I'll show you for finding the place. If you can find this, you're in the right area. So let's go up and see what's bubbling out of the earth. So I made it to the parking lot and the trailhead. I started coming up in here, and first thing I came across was some quartz on matrix, which is pretty sweet. Consider that this area might have some good stuff, maybe some bad omens. I just looked down and saw this. Not sure what kind of sign that is. Better keep going. Don't drink that water, Sarge. So I made it probably a quarter mile up the trail and got into the first remnants of the old timers here. Some tailing piles and the old runoff patch of rock coming out of what was a mine. It's clearly caved in here at the mouth or blown up, but you can really smell the sulfur and oxides in the air, and it's a little pungent on the nose. We're gonna keep moving up the mountain and see if any of these other spots we've come to explore are opened up before we get up towards that geyser. Actually cold. We made it the hike up here about a mile to this first geyser, I suppose. It bubbles probably for around 15 minutes every 30 to 45 minutes throughout the day. They say this is the only geyser in Colorado, but we've got some old maps that tell us otherwise, so we're gonna head up above where we have that information on some mines and possibly more geysers or hot springs. This one, I don't know if I'll be getting in. Oh shit, look out, look out! After about an hour of bumbling and bushwhacking through the trees, I was finally able to find what the old map called the hot spring, or geyser rather. That was a mile or two past that first piece, or that first one that I found. And this one, as you can see, isn't much. It is probably 85, 90 degrees. I bet if you dug it out, got yourself a nice little pool going here, you'd have a secret hot springs hidden just outside of this old mining town. This place is really interesting. The history goes back you know, hundreds of years. Back in the late 1800s, Bush Cassidy robbed a bank in Telluride, made his way over Alta Lakes and down through the Dunton region, where he paid off everyone in the saloon to tell the authorities he had headed to Mexico, but in reality he had headed towards Robber's Roost area of Utah. And these old lore stories were mostly true, in this case true story. And these old springs and geysers in this area is what the old miners would make their way off the mountain to bathe in. Pay a little money at the bathhouse and pick up a lady at the saloon, do their business, play little cards, get liquored up, and then wander their way back into this wilderness to continue mining. Since I haven't found anything worthy of jumping in, I'm gonna make my way back through the forest and see if I find anything cool along the way. Well, we were bumbling our way through the woods back down to the truck and saw this particularly interesting stack of rocks. As you can see, pretty unnatural way that they're kind of stacked in there, and it starts real low. A lot of sediment built up on it. So, treasure? I don't know. Gotta take a look. Yeah, see, we would be looking at 100 years of growth here since they buried whatever it would have been. There's not a lot of rocks like this up on the hill. Seems so interesting. And then there's more flat ones underneath, piled perfectly. What did they hide here?
I always keep an eye out for strangely stacked rocks when I'm outside of an old mining town that had a popular saloon, or in this case, an area with geysers and hot springs where they bathe. Miners and travelers would stash their things before entering these places, and often would get killed and never make it back to get it. In this case, I didn't find anything.
There's something.
Oddly enough, just a few meters down the hill, I found this tiny mine cart.
I knew it. Fun thoughts as I hiked myself down off this mountain, just thinking about well, I was able to locate both of those geyser spots yesterday. One was clearly what the trailhead had taken other visitors to. It's bubbling quite a bit, but cold. It had lost its geothermal. And the other farther above from my older maps was indeed right where I thought it would be, but needed some digging out with a bigger shovel, and you could have a secret hot springs up here. I have decided to get back out this morning and hit the trails with the old trusty Honda, and I am checking some old creek beds to see if there's any signs of minerals or gold. Next up is this hill. I'll try and capture for you guys on tape. that's it for this episode. Saw a cool geyser, and my favorite part, the mini mine cart. Many more adventures to come, so stay tuned.